everybody. Hope the soundboard stays good. I'm back. Oh, shut up over there. I forgot to turn the scanner off. So, all right. Yeah, it's healing up pretty good. The one spot down here on the... I'm going to have to go shut that off. Hang on a second. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Shut up. Alrighty. Sorry. Yeah, Matt. I laid my shit down on the way home from burying Mama. 10 miles an hour. Wasn't that bad. But, man, that spot right there, that one right there on the elbow, that's where that old scar tissue was from the first wreck. And it just popped that shit right out. Oh, God. It fucking hurts. It hurts. That little spot right there hurts. And I'm pretty sure I separated a muscle up here in my chest somewhere too, because it still hurts really good. But I'll get through it, even though I'm an old man. Alrighty, let me jump over here and quit bitching. Grab the Skypey people. Got old Marine Vaughn's coming on. Gonna jump up here and grab Mr. Lance Musser. Get him added into the show. Good evening, Vaughn.
Good evening.
Get Mr. David F. Town Baller. Get him added in. Oop. Yeah, there we go. Alrighty. So, yeah, I'm still in a little bit of pain, but it's not bad. I'll be all right. Hey, and everybody's on. Look at that. Mr. David F. Town Baller, how you be?
What's up, Jimmy?
Hey, David.
Did you get a big blast of this warm weather up there yet? Or, I mean, I saw snow flurries and all kinds of shit going on in Minnesota, or not Minnesota, Montana, and what the... Anyway, what's the weather like up there?
It wasn't bad. It's been in the low 60s, but next week it's supposed to get down to like the 40s for a couple of days, and we're supposed to get our first frost. And I think on Monday night it's supposed to get our first freeze, supposed to get down to like 30. And then after that, just kind of...
winter storm warnings out for Billings or something like that.
It'll start going, usually right around Halloween, we start getting chances of snow. Then usually by the middle of November, we start getting our first storms.
Yeah.
And then by December, January, it starts getting below zero for like 2 weeks straight.
It got hot around here again. I mean, the temperature's only in like the low 80s, but the heat index is up in the 90s. You know, I don't know how they're finding 10 extra degrees of heat, but it's out there. The humidity's off the charts tonight, man. We've been getting rain kind of off and on for the last day and a half. We needed all that, but man, the humidity, I had to turn the air back on. I've had the house open for a week, you know, all the windows open and shit, but I had to turn the air back on. It was just uncomfortable in here tonight. So
the leaves will be off all the trees here by Tuesday morning. If it gets below freezing, all the leaves will be gone.
Oh yeah, we're starting to get a lot of fall. You know, a lot of leaves falling in the yard and stuff. The colors don't look like they're changing like normal though. You know, I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna do some drone shots here the next week or so and see what's going on out there. So what's going on with you, Lance Massa?
Just chilling. Good evening, fellas.
What's up,
everybody in the room? Hey, good evening.
So, and then Vaughn's here too. Everybody knew that.
Oh.
He was the first one to answer.
What's up, Vaughn?
What up, Vaughn?
What's going on, Dave? What's going on, Lance? 72 degrees here in Muncie, Indiana. 72.
72. That's about what it is here, but the humidity's off the scale.
Yeah, it's about 70-something here, too.
It looks like you got a lot of rain crap your way, Lance, from Maria. Yeah? She just sat off
2
the shore
days.
there? Yeah? Just kept
Yep,
on
we got 2 days, yeah.
pissing on you? That's cool. Any kind of serious wave action or anything? No?
Wave action. I mean, the high tides, you know, they were like 4 or 5 feet above normal, but that's just considered nuisance level.
Right.
I mean, it needs 8 to 10 feet before anybody really starts flooding.
Right. Cool. No boats got ripped off the moorings or anything?
Nope.
Like that?
Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. People out there surfing, you know, because the waves were big, but the rip tides were awful, so they were keeping everybody out of the beach, but the lifeguard's already gone.
Wow.
So it was swim at your own risk.
Cool. They're talking about Nate now. There's a disturbance down in south of the Yucatan. that's starting to spin up. Nice little low pressure system, and if you look at the radar shots of it, it's got every intention on turning into a hurricane, and they think it's going to come straight up through the Gulf and either hit the coast of Florida in the Panhandle, from there, from like Destin, Florida, all the way over to the middle of Louisiana. All the projected paths are headed right for it, and they're projecting it's going to be a Cat 2 or a Cat 3.
It's been awful quiet. It was kind of weird how all those 3 or 4 or 5 of them just came back to back to back to back.
Right.
And been a lull here.
Kind of like they were engineered or something, huh?
I mean, good thing, because those people need some time to recover still, especially with Toico.
Yeah. Yeah, they're still in some pretty dire straits down there.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's dive into the shit, man. Let's start off by just talking the hell out of this Las Vegas thing. Let's get everybody's opinion. We'll start with Mr. Vaughn. Let's get your opinion on the Vegas thing. I want to know what you think's hinky and what you think's real and what you think's false flag and what you think's staged and, you know, whatever. Just to lay it out there. Let's take off.
Well, let's look at who owns that establishment and the property.
MGM.
MGM. If you MGM. If you link into MGM, it all goes right back to Hillary Clinton. They actually changed. He's a Republican. He changed his voting ability to support Hillary.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this gets really deep because there was a bunch of money, $350 million put up for something that the transaction hasn't gone through yet. I don't know if they were waiting till after the shooting, till the dust settled, or what it was. But all that transition before the shooting. Okay, there's a lot of insight here. What do I think of this shooting? I have watched a live leak. I've watched the so-called body reconnaissance before the lights went out,
mm-hmm.
and looked at some of the suspects there, and I'm still up in the air on that because, you know, special effects is just beyond reality, but I didn't really see any life in the little gal's eyes. It's freaky. Okay, it's alarming. I went to bed thinking about that one, and the deal with the shooting, there's another one where it shows a officer drawing his weapon. I don't know if he actually fires on the crowd or if he's just responding to the sound of the fire that's coming from the building. And there again, the building has multiple windows knocked out at different levels, and the fire from each one of those windows it comes at a different time and different sound effect, as in some of the videos indicated. So this is really strange how this all leads back to the BLM and the land grab and everything else. I mean, this could go on forever as far as research. I mean, there's been a lot of good researchers. How am I going to call this? I'm still in a waiting period, but I guarantee you the guns, the rifles, the long rifles that were used, which is a long list, every one of them are on a ban list by the Clintons. They made sure that they were thrown on the site. I seen the guy that was supposed to did the alleged shooting laying in his own. This. You guys will have to excuse.
I haven't seen those. I haven't seen any of those photos from inside the hotel room. You're gonna have to drop me a link for that because I still haven't seen any of those yet.
Okay, well, he's laying there, and anybody that's quinchy, close your ears. He's laying there in a pool of blood. His head's blown apart a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. There's not enough casing. There's not enough brass laying on the floor for all the spent ammo that was supposed to have gone through to take out that many people and wound them. I object to that right out of the gate. And there's a lot of things that the department itself doesn't have. Okay, stuff get upholstery and stuff in that place. They're saying the curtains on the wall are not the same curtain that we find in the wind. So there's a lot of things going on there.
Yeah. All right, Lance, let's get your take on the whole thing.
As far as the shells go, they did say that the people down below were getting rained on with shells. So if he had it outside the window, which I'm not sure why he would have busted out 2 windows so far apart, you know,
Were they even
wasting
in the
a lot of
same
time
room?
running back and forth between the two of them.
Were they even in the same room? Because that would be an enormous fucking room.
It was a 2-room suite. They were both in the same room. But there was just some, you know, hinky shit about it. CNN, I was watching Cuomo yesterday morning. I think it was yesterday morning or the day before. And they were interviewing a whole bunch of people at the scene. And, you know, they kept cutting a bunch of interviews off short because they had commercial breaks and they had to go to the next story and everything else.
Imagine that.
Chris Cuomo had this, and it was so obvious, a crisis actor. I mean, 100% saying all the keywords. And they let this guy ramble on about bullshit for 20 fucking minutes.
And then I watched the buildings fall,
like,
one right after another, because the fires were obviously too intense. And
yeah, it was one like that. It was the same kind of guy from 9/11. This guy was so obviously a crisis actor. I couldn't believe people weren't seeing right through this guy. But, you know, and then the gun control, I mean, with the first tweet within hours, Hillary Clinton was already saying,
what
stand
the
up
fuck
to
is
the NRA.
I'll save my comments for the last. Go ahead.
Yeah, she was already saying stand up to the NRA. You know, I'm like, agenda. But I'm just kind of sitting back watching over the next 48 hours, 72 hours. I just got done watching the 40-minute most recent press conference with the sheriff tonight.
Has anybody? I mean, if you want to see whatever kind of cell phone footage is coming out, you're gonna have to go to Live Leaks. You know, they're not letting it out on any other platform. They're not letting any of that shit. If you even mention a Live Leaks link on YouTube, they will remove your video.
Yeah, you can go to crazyshit.com, and there was a ton of live uploaded footage from there.
So, okay. So crazyshit.com, I guess. I wouldn't even know.
That's another one, liveleak.com, crazyshit.com.
So there is that.
Same one.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add in?
No, not much right now.
Okay.
Oh, they did the timeline. And, you know, it was funny because you listen to people's timelines when it first happened, and the first thing I heard was that it went on for like an hour. It was 9 or 12 minutes. That was it. It was 9 or 12 minutes for the guy started his first round and he killed himself. It was no more than 12 minutes from start to finish, because they broke down the whole timeline. Within 9 minutes, there were 8 officers outside his door, and he knew he could see them because of the camera and the keyhole and the 2 on the cart. And within 12 minutes of the first shot, the guy killed himself.
Is that what they told you on Fox?
That's what the press conference said. They had the timeline. They breached the door 70 minutes later. After the first shot, they breached the door 70 minutes later.
Okay.
But the shots stopped after 12 minutes. There were no more shots after 12 minutes. That doesn't jive with what every single other eyewitness said the very next morning.
Is that your phone?
Mine?
Yeah, it's mine.
Is it?
Yeah. It's mine. Okay.
Oh, I thought that was mine. That was hers.
Yeah.
I heard it too.
Everybody say hi to Al. Al's the in-studio live audience.
Right. But that was my holy thing. I thought it lasted a whole lot longer just based on all the stories that I'd seen, everything else.
Well, okay. I'm gonna go ahead and let you finish and let Dave.
I'm done. I mean, the whole thing lasted like 9 or 12 minutes. So at least that's what the official timeline is.
Okay, David, let's get your take on it.
All right, here. First of all, this dude that they're saying that did this shooting, multi-millionaire, big gambler, made money in investment dealings, was at one time a agent for the IRS. At one time, he was an auditor for a government function. You know, says a lot about him right there. But the deal is this: is I don't think he did it. I think he was a patsy. I think he got in deep with 2 scenarios. He was either an arms dealer for the United States government dealing to ISIS, and he got his cover blown. and they fucking killed him, and some ISIS fucking guy did the shooting.
Oh, go ahead.
I've got a video to back that up too. I just posted in my group from the brother. The brother was getting interviewed today, and he went to the part where he was going to say his brother was in arms, and he stopped real fast and got all stupid. He was fixing to give away. Something whispered in his ear, "Dude, don't say that." And he stopped at arms. And I'm not a big conspiracy guy like that, but like I said, I'll send you it's a short clip right here I got sent to me today.
Drop it to me.
Yeah, let me get that for you real fast, and I want you to see this. You could even play the.
I saw a couple of snippets.
To see you play that one.
Yeah, I saw a couple of snippets of the interview with the brother, and he seemed very, very hinky on this one. You know,
I'll get to his brother too here, but I'll send that to you right now, and you can play it if you want. I mean, it's crazy. This dude had someone whisper in his ear, and he was getting to say arms dealer, and he didn't get to finish it. He stopped real fast and changed the subject.
Okay.
And so you'll see it in that. That's absolute
proof. It
proof.
says, sorry, that page does not exist.
Yeah.
Well, it's him saying it. I mean, they may have took it off, but he did say it. Maybe it's him talking.
I'm going to hit the link again just to make sure that.
No, I hear you. I'll find it for you. No, I got it. Mine's popped up right here. Let me send it to you again. I must have sent you the wrong one.
All right.
Yeah, because this is it right here. This is him talking. There's no other way to make this up. There you go. You should have it now.
Okay. That's a much bigger link. There we go. Okay. Hang on a second. Stop. Let me get my OBS thingy pulled up here and do my window capture thingy here. And boink. Paddock's brother. Okie dokie. By me. All right. So here we go. Centered up. Let me pull this up a little bit.
This is live interview right on CBS today.
Okay. I'm just going
to CBSN.
I'm going to bigger it so it, everybody can see it really good. All right. That looks good. Here we go.
Had no help. Steve didn't take help. It did not take a village for Steve. Steve was an I'm sorry. Please don't. I'm using a colloquial.
Whoops. Little bitty snippet. I'm gonna play it one more time for everybody so they don't miss out on what he did. He bit his tongue. So here we go. We're gonna play it one more time.
Steve had no help. Steve didn't take help. It did not take a village for Steve. Steve was an I'm sorry. Please don't. I'm using a colloquial.
I'm using a colloquial.
A colloquial term.
A colloquial term, yeah.
Which means an olden term. So
yeah. Steve was an arms dealer, is what he was getting ready to say.
And it was this theory was out before this interview even came out that his brother was an arms dealer for the government, and he got busted by ICE, kind of like what they did to what's his name in Benghazi, Christopher Stevens. Same thing, except this was in America. They had him dealing weapons. ISIS found out, or the government found out, he was double dealing or something, and they killed him. Either ISIS killed him or the government killed him. Well, the government runs ISIS too, so either way, the government killed him, and they put in a merc sniper to fucking do all this. Because you're telling me this, all of his family have all been saying, oh, it doesn't fit the profile. And, everybody, he was a multimillionaire. He was a big stakes gambler. He made big money in business investments. He gave his ailing mother all this money and made her rich. His brother said, when they came out and said he sent $100,000 to the Philippines.
We do that all the time. We're millionaires. It's not.
He said,
we're above you people. You think that's something special? We're above you people. We send $100,000 all the time. That's what he sounded like when he was in the. Yeah. Fuck you, dude. Fuck 10 of you, motherfucker.
Hey, Jim.
Sorry. I mean, I want Dave to finish out his thoughts, and then I'm going to add mine in. I'll let you go ahead of me, Vaughn. But let's let Dave finish up here.
So it's either that he was an arms dealer, or he got set up by the feds, and for something, maybe he owed a gambling debt even, because he lost a lot of money too. And they said just last week he was gambling for 4 days straight, $10,000 a day.
A day.
And that
But he's a millionaire. They do that all the time.
Yeah, well,
$10,000 a day is nothing to people like us.
Well, his dad, was on the FBI's most wanted list from like
For bank robbery and then
bank
jailbreak. So he obviously comes from a fine lineage of people.
They're trying to say his dad left when he was 7 years old, and so he didn't grow up with him. But
the
anyway,
FBI was in his face all the time when he was younger. The FBI was in his face. Where's your dad? Your dad been by to see
they
you?
might have got him for this. Maybe they brought something out on him and told him, you're going to take the fall for this, dude. And they kicked in his fucking door, stuck a gun in his mouth. And that picture that Lance is talking about has been verified has been verified by the Las Vegas Police Department. They're saying that one of their officers leaked that picture out that shouldn't have, and now they're doing an investigation to see who leaked the picture of the two guns out and the picture of him dead. And so they said, oops, someone leaked it out, wasn't supposed to. They wanted people to see, oh, look, he's dead. But he didn't do the shooting. It was someone that was trained in surveillance, someone that was trained in marksmanship. It wasn't him that did it. He got framed for it, of course. And in that picture of him laying there dead, there are, there's casings, but there's also regular rounds laying on the ground that weren't even used yet. Mm-hmm. And it looks like, and then the guns, they're saying he had 23 guns in his room. 12 of them had that special modification on there to make them shoot, like an automatic.
Bump fire stocks.
And now, the government could have staged this because this bump fire stop, Obama wanted to get rid of, and Republicans won't let them. They're saying, in the NRA, which owns the fucking government, they're a fucking lobbyist group. I can't stand the NRA anymore. And I'm a Second Amendment guy, but fuck the NRA. They're cocksuckers.
I'll back the NRA when they build a warehouse and manufacturing facility in this country and put veterans to work building all their tchotchke shit instead of selling Chinese crap out of their fucking catalogs. That's when I'll back the NRA. As far as anything else they have to say, fuck it. Until they decide to step up and help the veterans, that is such an easy, that's a no-brainer, man. That's a fucking no-brainer. Have the veterans build your shit.
But anyway, Obama wanted to get that bump stop or the bump slide, whatever you call it.
Bump fire stop.
Wanted to get it, taken off the market because you can buy that thing from anywhere for $50 to $100 in all 50 states. It's legal to have.
Oh, they're a lot more than $50 or $100, bro. They were $50 or $100 back in 1996.
Yeah,
they're about $300 now.
Well, even $300. The deal is this pisses off the gun rights people because they want this thing off the market. And
fuck them. They don't. Yeah. What did Hillary? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It ain't that I hate to say this. I agree. A person doesn't need one of them. I don't think it infringes on anybody's Second Amendment to get rid of that thing.
They got binary triggers now that are 10 times faster than a bump fire. They got binary trigger sets that fire faster than an automatic. You can actually outrun the gas mechanism in an M4.
So these are just my scenarios. Maybe someone set this up to go after the bump fire things and to be that way. But I think he was an arms dealer myself, and I think he got his cover blown. And either he pissed the government off, or I would think the government probably, he probably pissed them off, and they brought a Merc in and they shot him in the head and threw these guns in that hotel room, sprinkled some freaking ammo around him. Then they come out with the story he sent $100,000 to the Philippines. Then they come out with another story that he had explosives in his trunk.
Oh, and explosives in every fucking house he owned, and every house he owned had an armory underneath the motherfucker, and whatever, man. Yeah, okay, so finish up, and then I'm gonna throw in my.
And
my
so his brother and his family, and even from next door neighbors, he owns 3 houses, 2 in Nevada and 1 in Florida. And the deal is, all of his neighbors says, he did keep to himself, and he was kind of weird, but they said they didn't feel threatened by the guy, and the guy didn't, make him think he was a nut or anything. And all of it, But they found 1,400 rounds in his car. Apparently, they found ammonium nitrate in the back of his trunk, is what they're saying. And so, they got his girlfriend. There's reported that his girlfriend that just flew back in. She's an Australian citizen. She's been one for 20 years, but she's originally from the Philippines.
Yeah,
he met her
met her
at a casino over there in Vegas somewhere, and she's says she had nothing to do with it, and the FBI seems to believe her. What's coming out tonight, they're like, we have no motive for this guy. This is completely something different. We have no motive at all. What they're trying to do is two things here. Is one, they're running a false flag for whatever, and two, they want to bring on copycats, because someone will try to copycat something like this again. Mm-hmm. And that's scary, man. So for a false flag, they're bringing on some bad things. But I believe this was a false flag. I believe that the guy they said that did the shooting didn't do the shooting, and that it was some kind of murk. And they want gun. If this was a government-run thing, it's either because he got his cover blown, or this has to do with gun stuff. And so, this was a false flag in my book all the way around, and he's not the shooter. He was killed, man.
He's a 64-year-old retired real estate agent. Was the first little snippet from the news of who he was when the sheriffs identified him.
Let me say one more thing,
okay,
real fast. I just post this in my group. I got the two videos. This lady and her husband were at the Bellagio Hotel 35 minutes after the gunfire at the concert venue. There was gunfire blown in the doors of the Bellagio. This lady was on live stream, and she filmed this, and the Bellagio was hit too.
There was a bunch of people laying down in the I saw that video. Bunch of people laying down in the foyer or whatever the fuck you call it.
The Bellagio was hit too, and it's not being reported. And I was listening to Las Vegas police scan about 5 minutes. Someone put a link on Twitter when it started, and I listened to that scan for like 4 hours. And there was reports too of multiple shooters in different hotels there. Yep. And then after this happened, they come back and change the whole story. Oh, those were set up by somebody that put us on a goose chase. And the deal is, if it was just one guy that did this, how would he have time to call? I don't know. It just makes no sense to me. But I think there were other people involved in this too, maybe.
From some of the reports that I've heard and seen, the shooting lasted 72 minutes from first shot to last shot. It lasted 72 minutes. That's some of the reports that I heard. Other reports I heard said that it lasted less than 5 minutes. Some reports said 15 minutes. I can tell you one thing. I watched the video from the cab, from inside the cab, the chick or dude or whoever the fuck it was that was driving the cab through Mandalay's parking lot when the shooting was going on. That, you could hear gunfire on that video for 7.5 minutes. There was still gunfire going on 7.5 minutes into the tape. So there's that. Point number two off of that video that I want to get real quick. He, she, whoever was driving that cab was in the parking lot of Mandalay Bay for over 5 minutes. They drove up underneath the cover to pick people up where the buses drop people off and whatever for the casino in and out and blah, 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 blah. Even though there was automatic weapon fire just feet over their head, there was people just standing around on that videotape that didn't even think anything was going on, man. If you hadn't had any audio, you wouldn't have thought anything was going on. Point number 3 off of that video. Hang on just a second, Vaughn. Let me get all this stuff out. I got a big list of shit in my head, and I don't want to get off track. Point number 3 off of that cab video. All that automatic gunfire going off over the top of that cab when she was still out in the open, when the cab was still out in the open before it got underneath the roof line, and there was no brass anywhere, not hitting anywhere around her, around the cab, plinking off anything, nothing. Plus, there was more than one weapon heard in that video from multiple directions. Okay, moving on to the next stuff that I've seen. I saw a clip from a body cam on a cop with about 5 other cops standing around and people on the other side of this plastic-looking fence. And I mean, they were yelling and whatever. You could hear some gunfire going off in the background. It didn't appear as though they were trying to really take cover. I mean, it looked more like a drill. They were walking out in the open and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then when all of a sudden they heard some crack of gunfire, then, you know, a couple of them hustled up against the wall and one dude drew his gun and stuff, but he was kind of just looking at it sideways and checking it out. And he didn't look like he was scared for his life at all. None of those cops looked like they were scared for their lives. The third thing, I heard radio traffic. I heard a clip of radio traffic about 15 minutes long or so. They were talking about gunfire at gate number 4 at the venue. They were talking about gunfire on the street outside the venue. They were talking about gunfire from the Mandalay, from the 4th floor, and above. They didn't say anything about 32nd floor. They just said that they had reports of gunfire coming from the 4th floor and above. It was obvious from the audio that there was more than one shooter. As far as if anybody actually got killed, I don't know, man. I've seen some of the videotapes of the cat walking around, checking people's pulses and talking and whatever and trying to get the lights back on in the stadium and blah, 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 blah. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's cell phone video, number one. The blood looks really, really red for being real blood to me. I mean, even arterial blood starts to turn black after a couple of minutes of being exposed to oxygen. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. The one thing I can tell you, it wasn't one guy. And it damn sure wasn't some 64-year-old douchebag that used to work for the federal government as a bookworm for the tax people and then got into real estate and made a few $1 million and turned his brother into a douche. And it wasn't that motherfucker. I'm positive of that. Okay, rant over. Go ahead, Vaughn.
Yeah, the video's right there if you guys want to play it. I don't know. You better put out discretion on this video.
What video is that?
It's right there in the link. It's
I know.
right there in the chat.
I know. I want to know what it is before I download it on my Skype.
It's already on the Skype. All you do is play. It's his head blown up. Do you want to play it?
Oh. Let me see there. It's asking me to download it is what it's asking me to do.
Well, I've got it in 2 places. I've got it personally in your Skype name in the chat also.
Yeah. All right, I'm pulling it up here.
It won't take you long. I would like to add to the fact that the father of these sons, Mama lives up the street from the brother. She's 90 years old, but Daddy was a decorated Air Force man, and in the 60s, I believe it was in the 60s. Don't quote me 100% on this, but I'm just going by memory. He knocked off 3 banks, got a 20-year sentence, escaped from prison, ended up north somewhere, got in trouble again, got thrown in jail, got bailed. He only spent a short period of the 20 years, and passed away not to I believe it was in the 90s. But he was quite a psychopath. He was into all kinds of scamming and everything. Daddy was. So, yeah, that Daddy was quite a man. There's a history on that. You can look that one up.
Yeah.
So this man's history, as far as a daddy, which he didn't have much contact with because Daddy was in jail, but in the younger years, I guess he was quite the deal. He was a real fine man.
That's what I was saying earlier. He comes from a fine lineage of people. But I still don't think this fucking cat did it, man. I just don't. He doesn't look like the type of person that was capable of doing it. And here's another thing.
He didn't do it, man.
No.
Well, look at the photograph and look how far away the revolver is that he was supposed to have used.
Well, I saw that. It's not letting me blow it up. It's just a little MPEG 4, so it's not going to, unless you can give me a website where I can go to it and blow it up, drag it open or whatever. It's just not going to be any good for anybody to see. And I don't know if they want to see this cat's brain splattered all over.
No, this is personal. I've got this on a flip camera.
Yeah.
I would have to process it through a different venue than YouTube because they will not allow this.
Yeah. Here's another thing. This is cartoonish. It's cartoonish for this cat to even think about taking 26 fucking weapons up to a room so that he could do some shooting. Why not just take one or two? In case one jams, you got one backup, right? I think 26 weapons, the fucking explosives in the trunk of his car, the 1,000 rounds of ammunition, every house that he owned had a big bunker underneath it full of guns and explosives and come on, man. This is fucking cartoonish.
Well, we got multiple times that they've counted out how many weapons were, and I believe the last time they got it right. Because in the beginning it was less, and then it became more, and then it became more. So who in the hell can't count the weapons laying around?
Right. At first, the first report I heard was
like
3. Was that he had a long gun and 2 handguns. And then it turned into 6 or 16, I can't remember what, and then it was over 20, and now it's almost 30. They said it was like 28. What the fuck, man? Were some of them kicked under the bed and you guys couldn't find them right off the bat? What the fuck, man? It's just there's too much hinky bullshit that's being said. And you're right, man. Whoever said wait a couple more days, because a couple more days, some people are going to come out and say shit and they're going to go, whoa. That ain't what you said 2 days ago. So that's coming because these fucking people can't keep up with their lies, man. And this is chocked full of lies. And if there's one thing that's fake about this entire incident, then the whole fucking thing is fake.
Well, that's what I've said in the beginning. It's like the guy standing there talking about his buddy. He never did say his name. His buddy got shot in the chest. Okay.
Yeah. 3
All
times.
Right, so the guy shot him. I accidentally shot him from the chest from the building. Okay. But when he said he got shot 2 more times, I said, hell no.
Look,
and then he said they took the buddy, threw him over the fence, and then put him on a cart, then put him in the back of the truck, but never did say how they stopped the bleeding. Plus, they stopped and picked up some other wounded people.
Yeah.
What the hell kind of buddy is that?
If the shooting went on for less than 15 minutes, there is absolutely zero chance that a man 320 feet in the air, 1,000 feet plus from his target could kill 50 people and wound 500 unless he was spraying and praying the entire fucking time and blowing through about 1,100 or 1,200 rounds of ammunition. That is the only fucking, and there's no way. You can count the gunfire.
Well,
you can count all so there's no way.
I think there was 2 shooters, though.
There was more than 2, dude. The police reports had 5.
Yeah, they were saying there was like 4 or 5 different hotels that were under siege, too, right after that.
Yep.
On the police radio I was listening to.
Yep. So this whole thing stinks. So okay, there's a couple people in chat that are saying, so if it wasn't this cat, who did it?
It's a Merc.
CIA.
Personally,
CIA,
no. Personally, I'm going to say it's a Mossad.
That could be too. We deal with them too.
Oh yeah,
I'm just saying.
They own property there too.
The MGM Corporation owns the Mandalay Bay, the Excalibur, and the fucking whatever the pyramid one is, the whatever the fuck that is, the
Luxor.
The Luxor, okay? All 3 of them, and they're all in a triangle in that area. Mandalay Bay points to the other 2. So there's your pyramid right in the middle of the fucking every shot you saw from a cell phone video. The Luxor was right there in the middle of the whole fucking thing, man. So whatever. And here's another thing. There's a couple of cats. There's one cat on YouTube, Stranger. The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. He actually put together Bohemian Grove and the Mandalay Bay because there's a special place in Bohemian Grove called Mandalay that only executive people get to go stay at. You actually have to have a cable car to get to the Mandalay place out in Bohemian Grove. So there's just so many things that are just flags going off everywhere in my head.
Well,
I texted you that link to that video too.
Did you notice when they put that up? They said 9 or 11 minutes. 9/11, 9/11. They keep throwing 9/11, 9/11 in your face.
Yeah.
It's all numeric, demonic. I mean, these people are Masons, they're evil son of a bitches. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Look, man, number one, I don't think anybody in chat wants to see this video of this dude's head laid open on the floor. If you want to drop the link to the chat room, Lance, be my guest. But I guarantee you folks, if I play this video on my live stream, once it goes through the algorithm, they're going to snatch this fucking thing off the air just as quick as that. So I'm not going to play it, right? I'm not going to play it.
You know, I think everybody died, man. The people that got killed, I think that the shooting number happened. I think the shooting actually happened, and they just killed. You know, if the PTB had no problem sacrificing 3,000 people in 9/11, they had no problem sacrificing 60 people
or
in a mass
22
shooting.
kids or whatever. Yeah.
And wounding 5. They have
and
no
I'm not-
problem sacrificing these people.
I'm not saying that nobody got killed at all. I'm just saying the videotape that I saw coming from out of there was entirely too pixelated, and it was entirely too dark to be able to know if that was
I seen
Hollywood
one
or if it was real. You know,
There's one I posted in my group yesterday of this dude, and he's going around. His mom was a nurse. He was going around checking the pulses on people laying on the fucking ground.
yeah, I saw that too. He's the one that asked for the guy to get the lights turned back on. The guy was like, "Oh, who
Yeah.
the fuck are you?" He goes, "I'm just an innocent bystander, man, but I'm trying to help people get
Yeah.
the lights turned back on so we can start doing casualty count."
Well, let me say this: there was an interview with one of the little gals, and she said that they told them to come over into this little corner of the arena, and as soon as they entered that, is when fire came in upon them like a hailstorm. So it was like they were corralled to be shot. I'm serious.
And there was, I heard that there was only one entrance and one exit out of that entire event compound.
Yeah, and you know, they said that this one I'd listened to, really 2 or 3 said the same thing. He said it was like shooting fish in a barrel. We were fucking stuck.
Yeah. So, you know, I got to tell you that, you know, I saw footage from before until, you know, during the gunfire, people taking video footage of the concert, and then all of a sudden shots start ringing out. I did not see anybody get hit and fall. In any of the footage that I saw, I didn't see anybody get hit and fall. There was one chick that was sitting in the stands over on the far side of the event, and she had 6 minutes of footage during when people were running like a mother, you know, everybody was running willy-nilly. 6 minutes scanning back and forth across the whole event field, and she said twice, "I don't see anybody that's actually injured."
Well, what we didn't get to see is how many got shot as soon as they left that wall into the open.
True.
In an open fire range of him. I mean, he could have dropped them right there on the damn street.
Well, you know, from the police reports, there was people firing from inside the event, you know, at one of the gates. They said it was gate 7 or something like that. We've got reports of gunfire in gate 7. We've got reports of gunfire on the street out front of the event. You know?
Yeah, but when you've got all that ricocheting around in the buildings, that's the reason you're going to get all those false reports, is because when it's echoing like that, nobody knows where it's coming from.
Well, I
So
can tell you
that was my feeling on all those different reports from the 4th floor. For one, the shots couldn't have been coming from the 4th floor because there's no balconies. You would have had to knock a window out.
they knocked the
And there
window
were
out
no
on the
windows
32nd floor.
knocked out on the 4th floor. So there were no shots on the 4th floor.
Well,
So
they said that there was little vent windows in all the rooms.
because that's what they thought they heard. Is my opinion.
Well, I can tell you one thing.
CNN's been there the whole time, and Fox, and they've been showing this hotel, and there's only 2 windows broken. That's the 2 that he used.
Well, they said that some of the rooms have vent windows that slide, so there is that. He might not, you know, one of the shooters
Well, you
might
can
not
tell
have
from
direct
looking at
window.
the hotel, and none of them windows look like they move.
Well, I'm just saying what I've heard and what I've seen on the you know, blueprint, people putting up blueprints of the Bellagio and people putting up blueprints of the Excalibur and all of them. So anyway, they said that some of the windows on the lower levels have the ability to slide open. The vent windows have the ability to slide open. But anyway, besides all that, the one thing I can tell you, and just, you know, just from experience, the cab video, there was a point of time when that cab was not moving, and you could hear gunfire from 2 separate locations.
Yeah, I heard that too. I agree with
So,
that.
you know, I'm just saying, there was obviously, to my ears and to my discernment, There was obviously more than one shooter in this event, plus the fact that the casualty count was entirely too high for somebody that was 300 plus feet off the ground, firing at a downward trajectory at victims over 1,000 feet away.
Yeah,
the
I agree
casualty
with that
count
too.
is
He couldn't
entirely
have-
too
He
high.
couldn't have got that high of a body count.
No way.
Well, there were 22,000 people in that at that concert.
Right?
So really, you got 1/10 of 1% that were all of them there. I could see it out of 22,000.
Not with a bump fire 308. Nope. I don't care.
Well, it was multiple. You could tell.
If there was
some
multiple
of them
shooters,
it sounded like an M60 machine gun on one of them.
Well, yeah, but then it slowed down. I mean, it sounded like a Gatling gun because the fire would slow down, and that was the bump fire stock. But
right,
You know, they
I'm
tried
still
to say he
telling
brought
you.
those 23 guns so he didn't have to reload. He'd use one gun, go to the other. Use that gun, go to the other. Use that gun, go to the other. That's what they're trying to say. Why he had all those guns up there. He didn't want to take time to reload.
So
wanted
he
to
was
keep
an
going.
expert shot, right? You could throw any gun in his hand, and he could hit a fucking target at 1,000 feet. Bullshit.
Yeah, I agree with you, dude. I'm just saying
Bullshit.
what they said.
I know. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. The longer we sit and listen, the more bullshit's going to fucking fall out, man. Because this, like I said, this whole event from the word go has been entirely over the top. Entirely over the top. And I think that they're trying to do that to see just how far they can pull the chattel in this country by their nose. They're going to
Well,
see
let me
just
put an
how many
out
people
on
come
this.
out and say, you people are full of shit. And when not too many people say it, then they're going to go, we can get away with anything.
And the deal is they're not afraid to kill people for their agenda. They've proven
Fuck
it twice.
no.
Well, Boston bombing, I think, was a false flag too. To think
Within 30 minutes, Hillary Clinton was saying we need to go after silencers and we need to go after the NRA. Within 30 minutes of the
Let's say
fucking
this on
event.
Analysis. My analysis of this whole damn thing is that it was mostly country and western people going to a country and western concert.
And you had liberals coming out and saying they got what they deserved.
This was a targeted situation to set an unrest into this country. That November 4th. See, we got November 4th coming up, and everybody. In fact, they said they found brochures of that FINDA, whatever the hell you call it is.
Antifa.
Yeah,
Said they saw him walking around with one of those vagina hats on.
Okay, so if we look at
Whatever,
this
man.
in
Whatever.
real-
This is
Hey,
so over the fucking top. I can't even
Yes.
choke it down anymore, man.
I know it. I hear you, Jim. And I'm mad. If anybody out there does not understand how mad I am that we have had people slaughtered in our country in this way, in a killing field, like it's almost like the elite are sitting back in their little thrones watching the killing field, watching these bodies and stuff. That's why you don't see too many bodies, because it's all privateer to them. They're getting all that damn footage, because I guarantee you there is more cameras in Las Vegas,
Oh, yeah.
high quality, than there is anywhere in the damn world.
That's something
Oh,
else.
yeah.
I was trying to, I was trying to filter through some shit that I was getting when this event was first going down. And one of the things that I saw said that the Mandalay Bay, the entire camera network was offline that day. Bullshit. Bullshit. Whatever.
You know,
bullshit.
there was multiple headshots too, and you're not telling me this guy was some amateur that was able to hit all these people in the head too.
Fuck
I
no,
mean,
man.
I
When they're
can't
running
see
like rabbits, fuck no, man. Fuck no. Nope.
multiple
Sorry.
headshots.
Well, that's what Vaughn was saying. That cat was going, hey, my buddy got shot in the chest 3 times. And then what'd they do? They stuffed him in a car, and they ran and got some other people and threw them in the car too, and they made it to the hospital. This cat took 308s to the chest, and he's still alive? Fuck off. Fuck off. I don't care. Whatever. Because there was no 223 fire going on. I can tell you that. The reports that I heard was all 308 and heavier. It was all 308 and heavier.
Well, there could be some crisis actors thrown in there. I agree.
Oh, well,
but that just
absolutely.
ain't-
Absolutely. There was one fat chick I saw. They had this gelatinous fat chick sitting in a chair with her ankle up in the air, not a drop of blood on her anywhere. And there was like 5 or 6 EMTs around her. I was like, what the fuck? What? What? You need all these guys to carry her somewhere? What the fuck? Tell her to get up and get out. She ain't got no blood on her. She ain't got no holes in her. Go help the motherfuckers that are laying in the dirt. Whatever.
Here's the thing: we have a tragic event, but we've got the media mud in the water with bullshit. Okay, they're good at this now because they don't want you to really see the real truth of this thing. I'm serious about this, friends.
That's the entire
Because
reason.
There was absolute slaughter of American citizens.
Oh yeah, it was Vaughn.
that
It was-
night.
This is the
Absolutely.
exact reason, and they left all those tweets. They left all those nasty tweets from liberals up on Twitter. Right? They didn't pull any of them down. The whole thing with Alex Jones screaming at the top of his lungs that this dude was Antifa. This is all left-right divide. They're just pushing it, man. They're pushing it.
Oh,
Pushing
they
it.
are. This really did it. It's like Vaughn said. You
And
got
these
a bunch
people are
of
fucking eating it up, man.
country and western, and a bunch of rednecks,
Yeah.
mostly Republican Trump supporters, and and how's it feel to get shot by one of your own? Is what they're trying to make them think.
Well,
It's-
whatever, man.
This guy,
Vaughn-
according to his brother, this dude had no political affiliation. He had no religious affiliation. He had no political affiliation. This just some multi-millionaire minding his own business and gambling.
Matt said, does it really matter at this point who did it? Yes, Matthew, it very much matters. We need to prove that this was a staged event. It very, very much matters that we prove who actually did this event.
Slaughtered Americans, like Vaughn said, in American streets, man. That just disgusts me, man.
Because
It
listen to
absolutely
me.
disgusts me.
Listen to me. Vaughn
What's
sent me
gonna be next?
a video yesterday of some guy with 4D, whatever the fuck he calls himself, fourth dimension. This cat is ready to grab guns and go shoot liberals any fucking chance he gets. He is that vehement about what this event has done to this country. So when you got 1,000 fucking people like that that are right on the razor's edge and ready to tip it, man, it's not good, man. It's not good. That's why we have to expose who did this, who really did this.
Same perpetrators of 9/11.
Exactly.
Because if they're willing to do this, what the fuck are they willing to do next?
They're
Car
gonna.
bombing.
You're fucking
Car
right.
bomb.
Yeah.
That was my fucking family laying there dead. You don't even know what I'd be doing.
It's going to be a car bombing or suicide
No.
bombing.
They'll do what they're doing in Europe. Somebody will get behind the wheel of a fucking semi and run through a crowd of people and just fucking slaughter about 1,000 of the motherfuckers running down the street. Blam, blam, blam. You know what I mean? Just bumping them off.
I'm still waiting for a suicide attack to happen, and it's going to
Or
happen.
they'll light a fucking city up on the West Coast and they'll say Kim Jong-un did it.
It's not safe to be in a public space anymore, man.
Nope.
It's not, because not only you got the government perpetrating false flags, you've got psychos that are certified psychos in this country that see this shit and go, he got 60 people, I'm going to get 61.
Right.
And this number, this is what's worrisome is the number's been going up and up and up after each one of these attacks. And this
Next.
is just innocent Americans getting fucking slaughtered in this country for a stupid agenda, and they're not going to stop until they got us killing each other.
Next, they'll blame it on some right-wing lunatic like this 4D character and going to an Antifa event and just mowing people down with a fucking.
That's going to happen
with an
too.
AR.
One of these protests, there's going to be a massive shooting.
Yep. So there is that, And just I told you guys last week, man, tighten your fucking bootstraps because shit's going to start happening almost on a daily basis. Almost on a daily basis, you're going to see shit going down. Watch.
Well, let me say
There was-
this right now.
There
Now
was
is the
several hundred.
time-
Hang on a second, Vaughn. There was several hundred people arrested 2 days ago up here in St. Louis with a BLM protest for blocking the fucking interstate. That all went on, I think, on the same day that the shooting went down. So nobody really heard squat about that. But there you go. Go ahead.
Now is the
Go ahead.
time to get your heart right with the Lord. I'm serious about this, friends, because you need the armor of Jesus Christ around you right now. Because if this shit goes hot here real soon again, you could be at the shopping mall. You could be anywhere. I mean,
Oh,
if these
smoke my
people
face.
are really intent on doing what they're talking about, and
You're not even
You
listening
know-
to the fucking show.
I just ate a taco and come kidding down.
I'm sorry, Vaughn. Go ahead. I'm bitching at my company.
that's all right. No, it's
She's
just,
sitting there on her
just-
goddamn phone. She's supposed to be my in-studio audience. She's sitting here on her phone.
I had to.
She's one of these sheeple people that I talk about all the time.
sheeple people.
Yeah.
Hi, sheeple people.
All right, go ahead, man. Sorry.
Go ahead, Dave.
Well, I was going to say we're talking about, what Jimmy's talking about here about, a civil war and all stuff. I live in Fargo, North Dakota. It's the biggest town in the state. There's about I don't know, there's about 800,000 people in the whole state. There's about 100,000 in Fargo. And, this story came out today we're talking about, it says, area law enforcement doing crowd control training anticipating protest. And this is in Fargo where there's never a protest. It says area law enforcement are going through a 5-day-long special training program anticipating multiple upcoming rallies that could create some tense situations here in Fargo. It says there is a possible white supremacy rally planned in Fargo this month. There could also be a crowd protesting a Minnesota pipeline soon. It says understanding they could need to step in, officers from all around the area are getting some real life. So these guys are trained, over 200 cops training here in town for protests coming up. They're telling us, get ready for shit hits the fan in Fargo. And we never hear this shit, man. This is crazy stuff when you hear this up here.
Mm-hmm.
It really truly is, man. I mean, they got a video here and they're doing riot training with batons, everything like they do in bigger cities. So they're expecting something. They're setting us up for something. Yeah.
What? Fleece the sheeple. That's what it says, man.
Huh. I hear
Fleece the sheeple. It's going to continue. It's going to continue. All these little protests are going to continue, and it's just going to get exponentially worse. I said it last week. I'll keep saying it until I don't make any more shows. We are in the tribulation. We are in the 7 years of the tribulation. This is my thoughts. I'm not speaking on everybody's behalf. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And so you better hang on, people. I mean, you better hang on. This is why I've been screaming from the top of my lungs since I got on the fucking radio and started doing shows, even before Lance joined me. Get your fucking asses out of the big cities. Get away from large crowds of people. Don't go to sporting events. Don't go to basketball games. Don't go to fucking college sports. Don't. Just don't. Get away from people.
I was in that new Minnesota Vikings stadium, and it's 70,000 people capacity in there. And, we had went to Mall America before. My mother-in-law had a panic attack. There were so many people in there, and she was freaking. She's like, we got to get out of here, man, after a while. I mean, yeah, it did. I started getting claustrophobia, too. There was just so many people in that place. Then we went to the Vikings game the next day, 70,000 people, full house. And you're sitting there looking around, and they're telling you before the game, they've got a big promo across the screen, what to do if a terrorist attack happens during the game, which way to go, which way to run. And it's just insane because you see all those people and you're like, fuck, that's what I was saying. What happens if someone just stands up and got a gun in here and just starts shooting or a bomb goes off? There'll be mass panic in this place.
Yep, it is.
It was. I enjoyed the game, but I was cautious at the same time. I was a bit nervous. I'm not afraid to say that, man. When the game let out, you had 70,000 people all coming out together at the same time.
Yeah. It's,
I started sweating in the crowd. I'm like, I got to get out of here, man. I'm going to fucking pass out.
You want to bring Kathy in here, Jim? Or
yeah, we can. We're in the second hour. Let's see what she's got to do. Okie dokie. Hang on, Kat. Here I come.
Yeah, we're in a time that no one really knows. It's getting worse every moment. It really is. I can remember when I seen somebody say something about October 1st, and I thought, here we go again, another doomsday. Well, bigger than shit. In the middle of the night, some of this goes down.
Well,
that ain't affecting me.
There's a thing in the WebBot report that says that around October 11th, he had much data on the word assassination, and the return of Kennedy's ghost was also in the data. So I don't know if this event is tied to that event. It's within a week. It's within a week's time frame or 2 weeks time frame. And, the WebBot's not spot on the money when it comes to dates, obviously. So it could be plus or minus, but, there is that's out there. October 11th is what he said the data was telling him. And the data said something about assassination and the return of Kennedy's ghost. So keep your eye open for that. Welcome to the show, Kat. Kathy, can you hear me? Uh-oh.
Kathy. We're not hearing nothing but a from you.
Yeah, well, there's a hum in the background when she does go live, like there's a computer monitor right next to her, a computer hard drive right next to her that's running. But yeah, you know, I try to tell everybody when they go to do a Skype event, the best way to do it is to have headphones and a microphone. That way, you don't get any background noise going on in the room and whatever, and you know. So that's the best way to do it. And also, try not to do Skype over Wi-Fi, because when your signal drops, your audio drops, and that kind of sucks on a radio show. So
she may have to unplug her mic and plug it back in. That might be it, or
yeah. Well, she's on. I mean, you know, all she's got to do is chime in whenever she gets it figured out. All right, moving on. Anything else, you guys? I mean, we're kind of wearing out the Vegas shit. There's all kinds of stuff to talk about, though, and I promise you, by the next show, there's going to be even more. So,
well, I want to throw something in there. I looked today trying to find more data on what has happened down in Houston, and I was trying to get something newer than 3 weeks. The only thing I could find was 3 weeks. I typed it in, even on YouTube, and it's really hard to find out what's going on down there. Have those people fell off the so-called Earth altogether?
They're definitely off of the radar at the moment. You know, and actually, they were getting more rain through Texas today. Copious amounts of rain, actually, up in the northern part, up by me. So, I don't know. You know, 50 inches of rain, it don't go away overnight, man. I mean, it's been a few weeks now, so I imagine everything's dried out or back to normal as far as water levels and shit go. But there are tens of thousands of homes down there now that are completely uninhabitable. And you don't see poo about anybody trying to help out, man. You know, donate here, donate there. Red Cross got their fucking hands out, but they're thieves. So, you know, but I'm not on Facebook anymore. I had a couple people that I was following on Facebook, and they were putting videos out once a week for, you know, people that are donating to them, and they were looking for trailers to try to take shit to people that needed it. And, you know, there's still a bunch of people in shelters, and so I don't know, man. I don't know. I wish I had the ability to go down there and help out. You know, I wish I had the funds to go down there and help out. If I was a millionaire, instead of shooting up a fucking Vegas event, I'd be going down to Houston and spreading my wealth around and saying, hey, you all got dealt a shitty card hand, and here's an ace to try to help you out. You know, that's what I'd be doing with my money instead of gambling. Gambling my life away and whatever. But I still don't believe this cat did it.
I want to know what's happening to all the Puerto Ricans that are coming. We've got an entourage of Puerto Rican refugees coming into Florida, and Florida ain't really doing that well to begin with because of they got hit. So we got all these Puerto Ricans coming in. I mean, we got two heavily populated coastal areas that are under siege, and now we've got Vegas on fire with crazy shootings. What's next? You know, right. You always get up the next morning and say, what the hell's next?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that they got something up their sleeves, right? I mean, they took all of our attention off Puerto Rico. They took all of our attention off of Irma in Florida. They took all of our attention off of Henry in Texas. They took all of our attention off of Catalonia, voting for their independence. All that just went away, and now everybody 24/7 is talking about a 64-year-old douchebag shooting up Vegas. So,
and to clarify, though, all those people come from Puerto Rico. I think you call them evacuees when they're American citizens, not refugees. just to clarify.
Did I call them refugees?
Sorry about that. You're right. Oh, they are American citizens. I'm sorry.
There was something out in Florida that they were calling for some kind of moratorium on them coming into Florida, trying to evacuate off the island. And I was like, what the fuck is he doing, man? What the fuck are you doing? You're a governor of a state, Well, anyway. You don't hear poop about Barbuda or the American Virgin Islands or the British Virgin Islands or everything's
And
focused
they
on
got
Puerto
tore
Rico.
up too.
Yeah, Barbuda took 2 direct hits from the motherfuckers back to back.
I think they're worse than Puerto Rico.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. That island was devastated twice in a week. So, yeah, bad news.
I'm surprised Trump didn't say, Puerto Rico, now's a good time to
Yeah, he was
just
back there.
wash our hands of you.
He was
And,
getting his little
we're not gonna help
workout,
you out.
practicing
I'm
for
surprised he
football
didn't do it.
season, tossing out rolls of fucking paper towels to the folks down there in Puerto Rico. That
And
was-
then jokes with them, you really put a hurting on our budget, Puerto Rico. You put our budget out of whack. And I'm like, you're a fucking douche.
dude,
Man, he told him that 16 casualties wasn't bad compared to Katrina.
douche.
Yeah, and congratulated him. Yeah, exactly.
I have to say this too. The only thing, and I'm not giving props to Trump because I think he is a complete turd of a human being, if he's even human. The one thing that I do commend him for is coming out and telling the IMF, you should take that $75 billion and shove it up your ass and tell these people, sorry about your luck, man. Your debt's free. You're debt free. That I do. He didn't necessarily say it in those words. I was kind of sending that out to the IMF myself.
No, he said
But-
it. Yeah, he was going to try to wash their debt.
Yeah, but he told them, yeah, you guys should just squash that $75 billion compared to our 20 trillion. It ain't shit. That's what he should have said. But there's that. So
Well, Dave, what we got on Little Kim? Is Little Kim doing anything, or has he decided to take his rockets and go back home because nobody's paying attention to
no,
him?
he's going to turn the USA into a lake of fire.
No, he's just watching.
Well, that comes out. They've got a big important holiday coming out on October 10th, the 9th, our time. And
What is it?
they
Whoa,
already-
whoa.
the CIA,
Hang on. What's the holiday? Get a flat top day?
It's communist, some kind of communist holiday,
Oh.
Communist Party Day or something like that. But it's a big one, and they said the CIA came out tonight. Said they expect him to either test a nuclear underground nuke, one megaton, and or he's going to do a full ICBM test. This one instead of he's been launching them kind of at an arc, not to get the full distance. They said he's going to launch this one probably full distance, like he's launching an attack at someone.
I thought it was a celebration or a holiday in remembrance of their first nuclear test or something like that. It was some random shit.
Yeah, something like that. They said they expect him to do some kind of test. We've got one carrier heading that way, one that we got forward deployed in Japan. I think that's the Reagan, and it's heading that way. And some nuclear submarines are heading that way. North Korea came out and said that.
Soviet Constitution Day is what Al said it is.
Well, that's what the internet says.
That's what Google said it is. Soviet Constitution Day.
Probably
But
not
any-
North Korea, though.
USSR. It's United Soviet Socialist Republic Constitution Day. So I don't know.
Well, it has something to do with their founding of their country too. But like I said, the Reagan's heading there along with the whole battle group with it. One of our biggest Air Force guys came out today and told Little Kim, we're going to keep flying our planes off your border now, whether you like it or not. And Little Kim saying, no, you're not. The next one that does, we're going to shoot at. And so we're going to test them again.
Words.
We're going to fly some more,
How many times has
bombs.
Trump said, if he fires one more missile, we're going to go over there and break a foot off in his ass? And then
Yeah.
you don't do shit. They don't do shit.
Well, someone just,
We're-
the deal is they want this war. The elite want this war. Trump doesn't want this war. The Rothschilds want this war.
I don't. I think that they're just about the only ones that really do want it, because everybody else knows what's going to happen when it kicks off, man. And if nuclear weapons are real, damn, because it's going to get ugly over on the Korean Peninsula. And even if not, it's still going to get super ugly on the Korean Peninsula. And then China's going to get involved in it. And then somebody's going to smack the U.S. mainland just because they can. Russia's going to dive in. Iran's going to dive in. And there's going to be millions and millions and millions of dead people by the time it's all over with. So I think that the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and the blood-sucking leech fucking families that run everything, they're the only ones that want it. They want the depopulation so that they can have the whole earth to themselves. And maybe a few of us left over to sweep up and you know, keep everything running, right?
You know, so they're going to keep pushing over there until they get a reaction. And if they don't get a
here it is.
reaction whenever they want it, they'll stage a false flag over by the DMZ and probably kill a bunch of our soldiers in the process.
Okay, here it is. This is from Wikipedia. The Party Foundation Day is an annual public holiday in North Korea marking the 10 October 1945 foundation of the Central Organizing Committee on the Communist Party of North Korea, known as the North Korean Bureau of the Communist Party of Korea. So there you go. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's it.
I need to hire her as a secretary or something. I don't know.
And so
if I can do it.
they're expecting something from them, you know, which is what next, I think, be Monday night our time, Tuesday their time, something like that. And so it's going to be interesting what goes down with that, you know. And, you know, there's bigger news, though, that people aren't talking about either. And Russia came out yesterday and accused us, which we are, and accused us of using rebel groups and ISIS against Assad soldiers and against Russian soldiers. They said they have direct evidence that we're telling these groups to attack Assad's troops and to attack Russian troops whenever they get a piece of land back. And so Russia says they're not going to tolerate that anymore, that they're just going to start bombing our special forces and bombing these rebel groups that are with us.
Yeah.
Well, we just had 3 special forces killed in Nigeria. I guess that's what it is.
Niger.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Niger.
Yeah.
Why are we there? Why are we in Niger? Do they got some uranium down there or
I saw
something?
that story tonight. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing there?
We're there
Special
with the
forces?
French and the British fighting over in Mali for gold mines and everything else.
And the fucking uranium and
Yeah,
water.
uranium.
Yeah. You guys know that the Bush family owns the largest ranch in Central Africa that sits over the largest water aquifer in that continent?
You know, Chinese are over there too. You know, people don't ever talk about that, but you've got NATO
fuck yeah.
forces over there, and you've got Chinese forces over there.
The Chinese are all over Australia too, man. They've bought like 5 or 6 huge coal mines down there in the last 5 years. They're all over Australia now. So and they're all working their way around the United States, man. There is 5 countries now, 5 countries that have a completed and authorized way of dealing in oil without the U.S. dollar. 5 countries. How many's in BRICS? 7, 8, something like that. They get 3 more. We're done.
You know what? Russia came out and announced today that they're going to start trading goods for oil with Iran.
And they are
In the
pissed.
by the end of this month.
They are pissed off about the San Francisco embassy, man.
Yeah,
We busted our way into some private room there that they built a bunch of not secret doors, but secure doors for or something like. Oh my God, they're not fucking happy.
I told you about that last week. I said that's the biggest story that has not made mainstream media.
Yeah, well, it's just now on RT. They're just now talking about it on RT.
Dude, RT's been talking about it for 3 weeks. That's where I learned about it. That's why I said that is the biggest story. Yes, they just broke into the rooms the other day.
Yeah.
But they've been talking about this for 3 weeks since they kicked them out. And I'm like, dude, this is the biggest fucking story
That nobody's
to
talking
not
about.
even hit the news.
Yep. And they just kicked out a bunch of Cuban motherfuckers because they think Cuba's the ones that fired the sonic weapon at our guys down there, and they pulled all of our guys
for
out
not
of Cuba.
protecting them, is what they said.
Yeah, well, but they pulled all of our guys out of there. I think Russia just kicked out some of our people, and we just kicked out some of their people again. So it's not good, man. Everything's pointing toward fuck the U.S. The rest of the world's going to kick your ass now. That's basically what I'm seeing, except for a couple of folks over in the EU that really, really need our money.
And dude, why shouldn't we? Why shouldn't they? We're the world's biggest bully. I mean, why shouldn't they?
That's what I'm saying.
You
And
don't
I
think
said it
people are
last week.
Sick of our shit by now, or our government shit by
I'm
now?
sick of our shit
Come
right
on, man.
now, you know? And I'm not the only one in this country that's sick of our shit right now. I said it last week. You know, for the last 100 years, we've been gearing towards the United Empire Earth, and people they're tired of it. And they're like, you know, we've had enough of your fucking T-shirts and Nikes and whatever. Get the fuck out.
Let me throw this in. Did Netanyahu, where the hell you want to call him, Nutty over there in Israel, did he send some support to Mexico City after that earthquake? I mean, after he went over there and put the voodoo on their asses?
I don't fucking know, man. I don't pay any attention to the Zionist regime that runs Israel. So that I don't know. David might have an answer for that one.
I haven't heard nothing. That's my answer. I haven't heard a thing.
Speaking of Mexican, what about the couple that was down front at the concert that were fucking around with all the people around them going, "You're going to die. You're all going to die tonight." And then supposedly they got escorted out by security.
Yeah, what happened to them?
Yeah.
I never heard about that.
You didn't hear about that?
Heard that.
Oh,
They said it was a Hispanic lady saying it.
Yeah. Well, I just said Mexican. Sorry. Hispanic.
No, I'm just saying you're right. That's what it was. Mexican.
But I mean, the security's like they didn't get her ID. They didn't ID her. I mean, she was threatening people's lives and shit at the concert so much that they wanted her removed. So they removed her. Did they ID her? Who was it? Why didn't they call the police and report all that shit?
Well, the sheriff tonight said that there's a woman suspect they're looking for. That
was his wife, right? They already got her. She was over in Australia and came back, and now she's cooperating.
No, this is another one. This ain't his girlfriend. There was another woman with him.
Was a girlfriend or wife? Girlfriend.
At the hotel room, they got his receipt from all the food he got there, and there's been for 2 guests every time, and the food people that bring the food to the room said, yeah, it was a female he was with the whole time.
Oh.
And so, who she is, they don't know. They're thinking maybe she could have been a getaway driver. They said that he did try to find a way to escape, but he didn't succeed, and that's why he killed himself. And so they're thinking maybe that's why the car was loaded full of ammo and stuff, that she was going to meet up with him somewhere, and they were going to take off.
But then nobody knows who that is. She's a ghost female, yeah?
They don't know.
Okay.
They got every ounce of footage. They could watch him, every suitcase he brought in.
I guarantee
you got all these people talking about the news. How did he get all these in without it? And I'm like, you dumb motherfucker. He's been there 3 or 4 days. He could have carried 1 suitcase in a day in a folded thing. I'm like, are you really this stupid that you're asking these questions on TV?
Well, here's another thing. We can look at the video. The
26 guns was comical.
Didn't they say they hit him in 12 minutes? They were from the ground. From it started to 12 minutes, they took him over. We can look at the video of the taxi cab driver. The cops are no fucking way around. No. How long did she sit underneath that apron?
That video is 15 minutes long. And when she was going through the parking lot, and she went up underneath the awning where you pick all the customers up or whatever, and you drop them off, and then she actually went all the way through the parking lot out onto the street and made a right. And when she made a right, she even said, "Holy shit," because there was cops every fucking where in the intersection, blocking the roads. There was lights going but nobody was up in the fucking Mandalay Bay parking lot.
Yeah, they weren't even in the lobby because when she drove by, people were standing by. And if the cops had come in...
automatic gunfire going on, and there was people standing around.
Hey, to be fair, if you were in Vegas and you heard that and you didn't see people falling around you, you very well could have think that it was a celebration of some kind.
It was going on right over the top of their fucking heads, man. It was going on over the top of their heads. Well, now, granted, I mean, not everybody knows.
It couldn't be because the top of the entrance of that thing was not over those windows. So anybody standing,
you have to go watch the tape, dude.
Got hit by shells.
No. I'm not saying that they were going to get hit by shells or anything. But what I'm saying is, it would have been echoing loud as fuck where they were standing from automatic gunfire. You know what I'm saying?
Not the cops come in the front door, get on the elevators, and go upstairs, or what were they met? Batman? They flew up the fucking side of the wall. That's what I'm trying to say. These people were standing in the lobby as she drove by, but the cops were already in transition upstairs to get him. Bullshit.
Yeah, they'd have had that entire place on fucking lockdown.
What they said.
They'd have had that entire place on lockdown
too.
Yeah.
Well, I listened to the police scan the whole time this was going on. It took something like 75 minutes from the time this Marine was 2 floors below the shooter. He had just come back from Afghanistan and just got out of the military. He called the cops the first time and said, man, there's someone shooting off rounds about 2 floors above me. He stuck his head, he could look kind of out of his window, see a flash. He says, I see a flash. He says, I was just in Afghanistan. I know what the shit this is, and the cops didn't do nothing. He called back again a couple minutes later. He said, this dude's blowing my fucking eardrums out, man. He's shooting off some loud fucking shit. And the cops still didn't come. He called a third time. Said, listen, this dude is fucking firing off rounds. He says, and then he called a fourth time, and they finally came. He looked out his window, and they went to a hotel across the street. He called back to the police station, said, tell them they're going to the wrong place. The dude's up here 2 floors above me. And the cops
how could he look out his window if the windows didn't open?
No, he could see the flash reflecting out of the top. But by putting his face, he said he could see it.
Oh, okay.
And so, and so, by the time his first call until the time the cops got there with the SWAT team and went in that room was 75 minutes.
Right.
They're like, if the cops would have got there the first time he called, they could have stopped him right away.
The first
whole
report that I heard
is at 12 minutes.
I don't buy that. I don't buy that. That's coming from the mainstream media. The first reports that I heard from people that were on the ground there, they said that the gunshots were going off for over an hour.
Yeah, police radio was reporting multiple shootings at hotels.
Yep. They said that they could hear gunfire for over an hour. So that, they're I don't know. And this is what I'm saying. We're 3 days into the event, and I guarantee you 3 days from now, everything's going to fucking change, man. They'll say, oh, well, we found the chick that was in the hotel room with him, and she's connected with ISIS, and blah, 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 blah. You wait. Watch.
Were they told to stand down? Because I'm telling you.
Yeah, the SWAT team was, the police kept calling in, and this was live over their broadcast. He says, I'm out here kind of whispering. I'm outside the door here. We got my guys with me. Permission to go in. They were like, no, hold up till the SWAT team gets there. It took the SWAT team forever.
He supposedly had a fucking camera looking through the keyhole.
The gunshots, they said the gunshots had stopped at that time, and that they noticed the camera in the cart. And it was 8 regular police officers. This was on the press conference tonight. It was 8 regular police officers, and they wanted to wait for 8 more SWAT officers in tactical gear. And because the shooting had already stopped, there was no need for them to bust down the door until the SWAT team got there, which took 70 minutes to put the breaching charge on the door, but the shooting had stopped 30 minutes before that.
Why didn't they go down to the fucking front desk and get a key?
Okay, wait a minute.
No, they had a guy. They had the security guard. They had a master key because they cleared the whole floor before they went to his room. They cleared everybody off the floor with the master key because they had.
Yeah, because they had to get all the witnesses out so they could get the CIA guys out or the Mossad guys out without anybody fucking seeing anything.
Out the floor, so they could let the other guys get away.
Yeah, and as they were walking to the elevator, they were like, "Hey, you capped the motherfucker, didn't you? Oh yeah, we laid his head open, dude. He's great. We got some guns tossed around. You're good to go. Snap some photos, bitch."
They said
So in other words, those breaching charges, they had probably already been in the room, and the breaching charge was just so you could hear it on TV.
Boom!
Well, they said a hotel security guard was shot in the leg, that the guy shot through the door and shot the security guard in the leg, and then the cops got there, they found the security guard laying in the hallway holding his leg.
Oh, God.
And that same security guard, after being shot, walked up and down 150 feet hallway and opened up the door for every single one of those cops so they could get the people out. And then when they got done, the cops said, all right, you need to go get some medical attention. That's what the press conference said tonight. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Why did they just take his motherfucking key and tell him to go get some help?
Yo, brother, you be leaking, man. You need to get that shit looked at.
Well, I'm like, why didn't you take his key? That's what I'm saying.
Hey, look, people, this is so fucking far over the top, man. Oh my.
Okay.
Oh, hang on.
Oh my.
Thank you.
Picture this. First shots ring out. What's somebody going to do? They're going to grab their damn cell phone, dial whatever the hell 911 is over there in Vegas. That had to be going off the hook.
There were 20.
a response to this shit?
There were
Nowadays,
20,000
grab
people.
their phones and start filming instead of calling.
Dude, there were 20,000 people at that event, and we got like what, a handful of fucking video coming from out. Nah, I'm not buying it, man. Look, Dan Blazarian.
They told everybody, if you have live raw footage,
Please turn it into the FBI. Yeah.
Before you release it.
Yeah, we'll give it back to you.
Well, that's what the news said. And I said there's more body cam footage, but it's too graphic to be shown on TV.
Oh, fuck off, man. There's worse
like
shit on Netflix, man. Eat a dick. Eat a dick, y'all.
Just like Bin Laden thrown off an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, right. Okay. Is there anything else worth talking about, man? I mean, we started talking about Korea for a minute, but just went right back to this Vegas shit.
I got
Go
one.
ahead. Go ahead.
So I've been following this Equifax data breach over the last couple of days. This douchebag has been in front of the senators.
Can you believe that no one is going to go to prison?
Are so fucked. All right, they knew about it in July. They sold all their stock or a large portion of it in August before it became released. Dude, I'm calling it right now. Within 2 weeks, this is 100% going to be pinned on the Russians, because it's not 135 million, it's 235 million that got breached. So they were off by half of what really got breached in that data breach that they were totally at fault for. Guarantee you, 2 weeks, this is going to be blamed on the Russians.
Goddamn Putin.
How much you want to bet?
Oh,
How much you want to bet?
They got nothing else, man. But they were trying to stir up a hornet's nest today with Diddlefuts, leaving the administration. I can't remember what his fucking name is. Tillerson, Rex Tillerson, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
they tried to make a big
press conference.
They tried to make a big fluff about that, and he was like, fuck you and your rumors. So.
And see, I don't believe that's a rumor because it was too specific. If you noticed, all of the leaks that kept coming out every single week in the newspaper, when Priebus got the can, see, the leaks pretty much fucking stopped, if you noticed. If you go back to as people were systematically getting fired, once Priebus got out of there, man, there were no more leaks.
Yeah. Stay away from the banking industry, people. I was listening to an interview today, and the person that was being interviewed said, I don't ever remember signing a contract allowing Equifax or a TransUnion or any of the other fucking.
You didn't.
To have all of my information. So,
you didn't.
Yeah, but she said, well, it might be tucked away somewhere in some contract that you just didn't really read, and so maybe we did, maybe we didn't. But at this point, what difference does it make, right? Every adult in this country has been hacked or had their data breached. Every single adult in this country. So.
Yep. I keep waiting for mine to get hacked so they can improve my credit.
I was gonna say, man, whoever tries to fuck with mine, they're gonna be like, oh, 420? What the fuck is that? Yeah, so I don't think I have to worry about shit. But they say, it doesn't matter what your credit is.
All this information on us.
They can try to open some kind of, they can buy a fucking car over in a foreign country or something. I mean, there's all kinds of ways around that credit thing, So whatever, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
But that's a big that I think over the next couple of weeks there's going to be more and more coming out of that.
David Howard said Equifax is a fake
Congress
event.
is going to have to do some kind of reform with it. So expect that to be in the news until the next big story takes over.
David Howard said Equifax is a fake event. They can't be fired and were never hired. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's just another way for the powers that be to have more data on some of the people that got a little extra cash laying around, and they're going to suck them dry, man. That's what this. I'm telling you, people.
And then they got that no bid contract.
Man, was I talking
a week ago?
I could have swore to God I was talking, man, and then Lance just all of a sudden jumped in. He must not be able to hear me.
I pulled a Jimmy.
Go ahead, Lance.
No, and they got that no bid contract last 2 weeks ago from Congress for, I can't remember the ungodly number, for security.
Yeah. Whatever. But I promise you people this too. I'm so anti-crypto. I can't even express myself. I'm so anti-crypto. The cryptocurrencies are just another way to get the last fucking lick of money out of you that you think you're making safe. Unless you got physical gold, physical silver, land, seeds, storable food, water filtration, weapons, ammo. Come on, man. If you do have some throwaway money and you're playing these cryptos and you're making a killing at them, good on you. I hope you know when to get out, because if you don't, you're going to get fucked. And that's the end of that story. Okay. What else we got? We still got a half hour left, 25 minutes left. What we got? What else over in your stack of stuff, David?
Oh, wait, let me throw this in for you.
Okay, come on, ball. Let me try to get
I
Pat
always
back in
had a
there.
question with this landing on the moon. Now, we know the moon gives off light. Why in the fuck was it dark while those cats were up there?
I don't know.
They never were they?
No. If they were, they would have been on fire, because they said that the temperature on the dark side of the moon was like, I don't know, a bazillion degrees below zero. And then on the light side of the moon where the sun was hitting, it was like, I don't know, 450, 500 degrees or something like that. So they would have been on fire. But, people don't pay attention to anything like that. The guys are walking around, snapping film with their cameras and stuff. The camera's not melting. The film it made it through 500 fucking degrees. Go put a picture in your oven and turn it up to about 450. See what happens to that picture. But, those things just go in one ear and out the other, man, or in one eye and out the back of their brain, because there's nothing in there to stop the fucking shit. There's no cognitive thought whatsoever. It's just dissonance, and they just believe whatever they're told, especially by guys that put on a lab coat and a stethoscope, man. You put some jerk off in a lab coat and a stethoscope and send them walking down the hallway of any fucking building you want, and they'll say, "Hi, doctor," and turn over their life to them. People
Give all their money to them.
Fuck you. People are stupid, man. And I was one of them up until not too long ago, man. I was completely being drug around by the nose. Completely. I thank God every single day for waking me up to this bullshit. And I pray for his armor to surround me every single day to keep me protected from the bullshit.
That's right.
And I pray for all you people too.
Yep. It's your turn, Dave. I'm shutting up.
Oh, no. It's all right. This came out of that security guard that was shot in his leg. And it says, Jesus Campos had no firearm when he found Stephen Paddock and approached his room on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay on Sunday night. It's Paddock, who had rigged cameras in the hallway and on the peephole of the door, saw Campos come in and fired through the door, hitting him in the leg, said Dave Hickey, president of the International Union, Security, Police, and Fire Professionals of America. The union represents Campos.
Union rep. Gotta ask the union rep. Can we talk to the guy that got shot? Nope. Gotta talk to his union rep.
When Campos was hit, he radioed Casino Dispatch and told him his location and Paddock.
I'm hit. But hang on a minute. I got to help these cops go unlock these doors, so I'll get back with you in 20 minutes. He's hit with a 308, yeah? Because, it's a damn good thing it didn't get a femoral artery. That's all I got to say. You're a lucky motherfucker to take a 308 in the leg and for it not to hit any vital veins or arteries or, wow, man, are you lucky. Did it hit you in your pinky toe?
Well, was it a 308? Did they say that's what the shot?
Every fucking shot that I heard was 308 or larger, man. I mean, he wasn't rocking and rolling with a Barrett, right? But I think that he had the guns that I saw were all AR-15 platforms, and they had 308 drums on the motherfuckers that were, so whatever. 100-round
Well,
drums, 50-round drums with bump fire stocks. That's what I've seen described. Everything was .308 caliber. There wasn't
Well,
any
they're saying-
5.56 fire going off that I heard. It was
They're
all
saying
heavy.
that this just came out just now too on him. They're saying that he shot 2 large aviation fuel tanks from his hotel room, but luckily the bullets didn't penetrate.
Well, thank God they weren't armor piercing. Hillary would have been all over that too.
That dude was trying to. Now they're trying to say he tried to blow up fuel tanks. They just add more and more to this as it goes along.
Well, they said
I
that
want
he
you-
had enough tannerite in the hotel building that if he would have shot it with a bullet, it would have taken out the floor above and below it, and put a hole in the side of the hotel. So
This is
why put
so-
a pistol to your head if you brought all that tannerite into the
If
building?
you knew you were going to kill yourself, right? Why
you
not just
had
go
to
out
be
and bang?
bringing it in there for a reason. So why didn't you just shoot that? Because all they said was you had to shoot it with a
High-powered rifle.
308 round.
Doesn't even
Well,
have to be.
he's got a-
Doesn't even have to be a
well,
308. It just has to be like a 22 Magnum, something that's running over 1,500 feet per second. That's all you need to set off tannerite.
Well, he's got a pistol laying above his head in that video there that I sent.
Yeah,
you.
so why shoot himself in the head instead of going one final blow and hitting that stuff and blowing out the whole side of the building and everybody outside the
Because
door?
I'll tell
I
you
don't get
exactly
it.
why. I'll tell you exactly why. Here's exactly why he shot himself in the head, supposedly.
Because it wasn't him.
No. It was him. It was him that got shot in the head. But he
No,
was
no,
he
he
was
shot
there.
himself.
He was there that weekend, gambling and losing a bunch of money, and had some hooker hired that was spending the weekend with him, and he was feeding her really good, and they were having a good time. And then one afternoon, I think it was on the 1st, he heard a knock at his door. And when he opened it up, a guy with a 10 millimeter vented his skull and commenced firing on a crowd down below with automatic weapons.
On the Shady Mall, right?
That I'm just telling you, man, this patsy fucking 64-year-old, no military background whatsoever, probably doesn't know his ass from a fucking bolt carrier group on a fucking AR platform. Bullshit. It's bullshit.
And they said he had bought most of those within the last 6 months. So, I mean, it's not like.
Oh, and that didn't send up any fucking red flags whatsoever to the powers that be in Washington that you got to get your fucking okay approval from to buy more than 5 weapons a year or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
they
No,
said
They
he
spent
bought-
$100,000 in the last 6 months on those weapons.
what
He
the
said he
fuck
spent-
ever?
He bought 50 guns in 1 year,
What the fuck ever?
and no one caught on to that. There wasn't a red flag with that.
No, the ATF would just look past it. You know, what's the guy's name? Paddock. Wasn't his dad on the fucking most wanted? Ah, fuck it. Let him have it.
He's a psychopath. It'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll catch him later. Fuck it. He'll shoot up a Coliseum or something, and we'll get him then.
They're probably like, we didn't get to shoot his dad.
No.
We'll get to shoot his son.
Look, I'm telling you, I'm telling you right now, this guy has been familiar with the FBI since he was probably a teenager, because they were hounding him throughout his entire life. Where's your dad, dude? Did your dad come by and see you tomorrow? You know, is he? What about Christmas? Is he coming in Christmas? Thanksgiving? Come on, talk to us, man. We want your dad. I promise you. He's a fucking jailbird.
Now tell us where your dad's at. We'll make you rich. We'll make you prosperous. Everything will go right for you in your life. Right now, it's all fucked up. Just tell us where your damn dad is.
Oh, they got his dad. His dad's been in prison for a long time.
But I'm just telling you, back when he was an escapee
Yeah.
and that kid was around, they were hounding his fucking. They've known about him forever. Forever.
They're trying to say this dude's never even had a speeding ticket or anything.
That's bullshit. That's complete
I
bullshit.
guess the judge that sentenced his dad the last time, he said anybody, because he already knew what kind of flim-flam this guy, anybody that can flim-flam me has got to be the best. And he was the best because he actually got the time shortened, that he was supposed to serve the 20 years so less that it was unbelievable, that he was free. It's crazy. And then I'd have to remember all of it. I'll have to find that video and give it to you, because when he goes into detail, that just blows my mind.
There's one other scenario. Now, I do like David's scenario where he was an arms dealer or whatever, and somebody turned tail on him and fucking, set him up for all this shit. But here's one other scenario that it might be. And Lance, you might be on board with this one. He worked for the federal government before, right? So
Yeah.
he went and got, he worked for, I think, the IRS or so. Who did he work for? He was
IRS agent.
He worked for Lockheed too.
And
Yeah,
Lockheed Martin,
he
yeah,
worked
but
for
that was
Lockheed, too,
that was
as an
before
auditor.
they were called Lockheed Martin. That was when they were their origination company and blah blah blah. He only worked for them for like 18 months, and then they got rid of him for some reason. I think that's what I read anyway. I don't know. I might be completely wrong on that, but anyway. So he was known to the feds, and he probably took some vaccinations when he was getting his physicals and stuff, and one of those might contain a little bit of serum or something, and he might have got Operation Monarch. You know what I mean? It might have been laying dormant in him for a lot of years, and then all of a sudden one day they fucking blow a dog whistle, and he goes, "What do you want me to do?" And then they set him up in this whole patsy thing. They helped him shoot the place up, and then when everything was over and done with, pop him in the fucking nugget and lay him down, throw the weapons on the ground, hightail it out of there. Bob's your uncle. That's another scenario.
Yeah. Here's the funny thing: as he's laying there, you'll look in the full video that he actually has one of those long rifles laying across his leg. How the hell did that get there?
Strange things happen when you're suicided. That's all I can say, man.
The LAPD over there in California, they're masters of setting people up.
Yeah.
They're known for doing stuff like this.
So, but I'm just telling you, man. This guy was no. I mean, did he go to sniper school before all this crap too? Because that's the only way he could have got those shots off like that. To cave a guy's chest in at 1,000 feet, that's 300 fucking yards, people. I want you to, even with a good scope on a rifle, I want you to see if you can do a center mass shot 3 rounds in a row with a bump stock at 300 yards. I want to see somebody do that. 3 rounds in a row, center mass with a bump stock at 300 yards. I got to see. I got to see a motherfucker do that.
Knocked off JFK did better than that. So
with a bolt action, what?
Exactly.
Mannlicher Carcano.
Yeah, but that was-
Why did they have to? Why did they have to pick that gun, Mannlicher? I can't say that name without smiling, man. A Mannlicher Carcano. Whatever.
They're trying to say now they just put a diagram out. They said the 2 hotel windows he broke out, one was in direct fire of the concert grounds, and the other was in direct fire of those 2 fuel tanks that he was shooting at.
1,000 feet away. And
They
he was
said 2,000
320
to
feet.
To the fuel tanks was 2,000 feet.
2,000 feet. 2,000 feet. Well, no wonder that the 308 didn't penetrate the fucking tank because it was completely out of energy by the time it got there.
And they said to the concert grounds was about 400 yards.
No. Well, yeah, 400 yards. Yeah, actually, 1,000 feet, 1,200 feet. They said from the front of the stadium or from the front of the stage to his window was 1,000 feet, and then back to the gate was 1,200 feet. So, and there was only one. There was one gate. There was one gate in and out of that whole event. So everybody had to funnel into that one gate, and they said that that's where he was laying the majority of the fire. I guess that was gate 7 because that's what the cops were saying. There's fire at gate 7.
It looks like he would have used a rocket launcher of some sort and just done the whole job right out of the gate.
Oh,
I'm just saying. I mean,
Hey man, if you're gonna Hollywood it up, you might as well. You're right. I mean, it's a wonder that he didn't have Claymore mines set up in the hallway instead of little cameras through a peephole, right? Who the fuck was this
It's
guy?
amazing
Jason,
that this guy was a marksman and a surveillance tech at the same time.
right? Who is he? Fucking Jason Bourne? Are you serious, man? That's what I'm saying. This shit is so over the top. It just makes you. It would be funny if there wasn't 58 potential people dead, right? And 500 plus.
That's the sad part.
500 plus wounded. Because I'm still on the fence as to whether or not this was Hollywood or whether or not this was an actual event. Because if it was an actual event, then you got to call it a false flag. If it was a Hollywood thing, then it was a hoax. There's a big difference in those two things, right? Either way, it was staged.
And for the record, they lowered the wounded down to 400 and something.
Oh,
that
yeah,
was the
because a bunch
official
of them
number tonight. They have lowered it now.
Yeah.
They were double counting some people and some people there for car accidents that they counted. So at the press conference tonight, right before we came on air, he explained that it was originally 500 something, but it's officially 400 something now.
Well, you know,
Until the next official number.
this fucking cat is going to go down in history as the most carnage by one individual in one event. You know, and you're trying to tell me that he did all of this. He killed 58 people, and he wounded 400 plus more in 7 minutes from 1,000 feet away. Fuck off.
It's almost as good as the kid from Sandy Hook that killed all those kids with one bullet apiece with less bullets than he had.
Yeah.
So, miraculous shots.
Fuck off. I'm not buying none of it. I'm not buying none of it.
Me either.
And that's why they said we want to talk to his girlfriend because she would have known if he was stocking these weapons up and all this stuff. You know, it's like the Daily Mail out of Britain came out with a story tonight and said they put a story saying that Las Vegas Gunman Stephen Paddock has been described as highly intelligent and strategic by a man who was dating his girlfriend's sister. And he's claiming that Paddock had a huge gun room in one of his houses.
His gun was huge.
You know, now they're claiming that all of a sudden he had this huge gun room and he knew all how to use weapons. I mean, he was a certified hunter, but that don't mean you're a marksman.
Oh, he was a certified pilot that owned 2 planes too, but he couldn't pass the certification. Why couldn't he pass his pilot certification? I want to know that.
The story keeps changing and changing. You know, when they interviewed his brother the first time live on TV, I caught this too. His brother said first they asked him if he was, if his brother was into guns. No, my brother wasn't a gun guy. Well, I'll take that. When he changed the story, he says when I helped him move from his one house to his other,
he had a couple of handguns in a safe and maybe a long rifle. Maybe a long rifle for when he went hunting in Alaska.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
I have another question. How do they move all these bodies? Okay, we're talking almost 60 dead, and now it's 400 and some people wounded.
Map said 60, yeah.
Ambulances and all these station wagons and all these pickup trucks. Where the hell? How do they move all these people?
I didn't see any helicopter footage. I didn't see any footage of helicopters coming into land to take these people out of there, or no lines of ambulances like you saw down in Florida, or none of that shit. None of that shit. And Map said it's up to 60 dead now, so there's 60 confirmed fatalities from this.
Yeah.
So watch these numbers add up, y'all. 60 and 4. What? Just saying. Watch them numbers add up.
They interviewed that one guy that was in. 2 servicemen lost their lives in that event, and they were ex-servicemen that just got out, and they both got killed. But this one guy, said he stole a white pickup truck that had the keys in there, and he was hauling people. And they showed him getting interviewed, and they showed the truck and everything else. But they said he was hauling people, at least 10 people. Him and his buddies hauled out in the back of this truck they took. And
that only leaves 400.
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I think this happened. I think there might be inflating the numbers. Don't get me wrong there, but I do believe that a lot of Americans were just killed for no reason.
Tommy Stock said that they were saying this morning that he was firing shots for 9 to 11 minutes.
Yeah. Yep.
9/11. 9/11. 9/11. 9 to 11 minutes. 9/11.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dave. There was a lot of innocent lives lost, and just for, like I said, a killing field.
If these people
delight.
Yeah, if these people are really dead.
Was getting interviewed, and she said the real men stepped up. She said there was guys throwing themselves over women right and left. He said there was a lot of men that really stepped up in that place.
Yeah, and a couple of the clips that I saw, there was 2 dudes. One of them was wearing a USA tank top, which is just that's poetic, man. But there was 2 guys standing in frame. They were both standing up with their arms out, going, "Shoot me! Shoot me, motherfucker! Shoot me!"
Yep.
But there was all kinds of people laying on the ground around them that were trying to get the fuck out of the gunfire. So, you're calling fire down on the people that are around you too, stupid ass.
That's what I thought too. They showed this one dude giving the finger up toward the window and yelling, "Shoot me!" I'm like, dude, you're going to draw fire, and all these fucking people around
are just laying down, trying to get out of the way of trying to get out of sight. That was another stupid thing, man. You're in an open fucking field, people. You don't just lay down in an open field. You find cover. It's called cover and concealment. cover and concealment. At that range, concealment works pretty much just the same as cover because you can't see where the fuck you're at. But you look for a brick wall. You don't just lay down in the middle of the fuck. It's not a prison yard, you dumb shits.
Well, you got to figure the lights were on, so there was plenty of lighting for target.
Yeah,
plenty of lights
absolutely. Until they shut them off, and then the guy was running around afterwards saying, "Turn the fucking lights on so we can see who's dead." You know, whatever. You know, if people really did get killed in this event, and I'm still on the if thing because I don't know, I haven't seen any verification of it or whatever. But if people really did get killed in this event, this was a sacrifice by the elite. And if 58 people really got shot and killed, and 400 plus really got shot and wounded, there was more than one shooter. I promise you.
Oh, yeah, I thought that too. You know, one guy reported that they were interviewing saying that he actually seen some people get hit by cars when they were running through the intersection. These cars were just plowing some people over, too.
That's because people are fucking idiots, man. They're idiots. You scare the shit out of them, and they'll run over anybody. They'll run over their own fucking baby.
So he said, you know, he's seen at least 3 or 4 himself get hit by cars. He's seen a head-on collision happen in one intersection.
It's ridiculous, man.
Oh, but we'll survive if this thing goes real big, won't we? We'll all survive this.
Hey,
no
man,
problem.
this ain't the last event that's going to happen this year. I promise you.
This is just a taste of what's coming to this country on a permanent basis real soon.
I'll bet you the next one's going to be an ISIS guy, and he's going to just plow over a bunch of people at a fucking mall. He's just going to jump the curb and run down the sidewalk in a big-ass fucking truck and just mow down about 50 or 60 motherfuckers. You watch. Because that's happening over in Europe, once a month, probably? Some assholes jumping a curb and fucking... It happened once here in New York, right? The guy in the car jumped the curb and went off into the fucking people and got stuck up on the concrete pillars and shit. Wasn't that just not too long ago? So, that shit's coming too, man. And like I said, they'll probably wind up nuking a fucking city on the West Coast or Hawaii or Alaska, and they'll blame it on Kim, and then they'll just toss Katie bar the door! World War III!
Yeah, that's like what's called saying here. Todd saying there was a pyramid. When you look at all the footage,
the Luxor.
There's an absolute perfect pyramid, like the all-seeing eye where the gunshots came from.
Well, no, I don't. The Luxor was right next door, with its little light shining up in the fucking into the atmosphere. So I don't know. There's just so many. Just wait another 3 days. Next week, man, we'll have so much fucking shit to talk about. We'll have forgot half the stuff we wanted to talk about, right? Yeah. I promise that.
People don't even realize another hurricane is going to hit.
Yeah, Hurricane Nate.
They're not even talking about it, because they're so caught up in this shooting, man. Now you're going to have another hurricane hit, and, this country is going to be hurting for money. I mean, we already are, but paying for Florida, paying for Houston, paying for Puerto Rico. Now you're going to pay for again for another city.
They can't, man. FEMA's broke. They already said Puerto Rico was the last of their funds. They said, Puerto Rico, you guys got the last of our funds. That's why Trump made his little comment. You guys are really fucking up our economy over here. Our budget.
Don't give Red Cross any money. No money to Red Cross, guys.
They're charging people for their fucking meals down in Houston. They're charging people for the meals down in Houston.
Well, yeah, they're going to charge them in Puerto Rico, too. They're going to give them all food stamps.
Ridiculous.
At least that's what they announced tonight. They're giving most of the people their food stamps.
Yeah. There was some guy that got together with, I think, 7 or 8 friends of his. They all owned private planes, and they loaded them up with food and stuff and flew down to Puerto Rico before any of the military got there, anything like that. And when they got back to their home, their home airfield, they said that it was just utter devastation everywhere. Said he was going to put a video out on YouTube. I didn't catch it if he did. But damn, dude. I can't even imagine. Going through a hurricane. I lived in Florida for a little while. I was lucky in the couple of years that I lived there, we didn't catch any shit like that. And that's why I got the fuck out of there. I was like, nah.
Been through 3 of them. Galveston, Texas, and Florida. Believe me, hurricanes are nothing to play with.
Yeah.
Nothing to play with.
Fuck it. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for all the stories of sinkholes after Irma went through. You know, because they got drowned with some fucking water, man. They got drowned on Florida with some water. The sinkhole stories are going to start coming out of the woodwork when that shit starts drying out and getting down to the water table. John said a shitstorm's coming. Yeah, it is, John. You're right about that, brother. It's getting on in the year, man. I might start doing 2 days a week again. It depends on how cold the weather gets. If it starts cooling off toward the end of this month, then November I might jump on and do, Wednesday and Saturday again. So that'll give him time to get on easy. He was wanting to get on tonight, but too much stuff going on at the house. What?
We may have enough to have a Saturday night one with this operation going on and what's coming up.
Well, yeah, and I don't know. It depends on how I feel Saturday. I'm pretty fucking tired right now, and it just clicked on 10 o'clock. So, well, I guess that's according to the clock on the wall, it's 10. I haven't heard your computer tell us it's 10 yet. So, or 11. I guess it's going to be 11 your time.
It's a couple of minutes. It's a minute away. It'll tell you.
All right, David,
we'll do the Skype tomorrow.
What's that? What?
Starter installation Skype, live video.
Oh, well, yeah, we'll see how that goes, man. I think I might be able to handle it by myself. We'll see.
Okay. Well, you're ringing.
Yeah. David, anything last minute kind of breaking news type of shit or?
No, I really don't have nothing.
No? Well, all right then. Guess I shouldn't have thrown it to you. Kind of a weak exit.
There ain't really nothing breaking, Watch October 9th with North Korea, see what happens.
And watch October 11th, the Intrepido. Oh, I don't have it. It's over there. The Intrepido report said, some kind of shit about the Kennedy's ghost and something about assassination. So we'll see how that plays out too. Kat, we'll try this next week. If not Saturday, if I have a Saturday show, we'll see what kind of drops between now and then with this Vegas deal. And, if there's any kind of damning evidence or something that we need to talk about, on an earlier basis, then look for a Saturday show maybe. I don't know how you guys are going to look for it. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a message board or something on the YouTube thing. I don't know if there's a way to do that. We'll see. Anyhow, just click the little bell. You'll get a notification when I go live. Right? Yeah? Okay. Everybody say bye to Al.
Bye, Al. Bye-bye.
All right. Hey, prayers out to everybody.
Smoke weed every day.
Sorry. What?
Prayers out to everybody that was possibly injured or killed in this incident.
Yeah,
prayers
absolutely.
Amen.
Absolutely. All right. With all that being said and everything else out of the way, well, let's get over here to do this thing. Thanks you guys for coming on. David, Lance, Vaughn, appreciate you guys very much. Like I said, Kat, we'll try this next week or Saturday. And everybody else that's out there watching and stuff that's, my listeners, love, peace, and cookies. See you next time.
See ya.